My name is Andre, and in this lesson we'll be looking at how to play La Bamba by Ritchie Valens. More specifically, the Los Lobos version, which was featured in the movie La Bamba from 1987. There's also a link to the tablature for this tune should you need it, along with my Patreon links, which includes access to the backing track. This tutorial covers the whole tune, including the solo, but of course we'll start with the intro. So, here we go. So, how do you play that intro? You start off with a pickup bar playing E3 with your ring finger, open A, then A2 with your middle finger, and then A3 with your ring finger. This pickup starts on the and of 3. So like this, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, right? Then on the first beat of the next bar, this part of the riff starts. So what do you play there? You start off with that ring finger in third of A, of course. Then you go to D2 with your middle finger and you play D and G string together. Then you play just the open D. Then you put your ring finger on D3 and middle finger on G2. Play them both. Then you add your index finger on B1 and you play G and B together, right? Followed by open B and G, like that. So when you combine that with a pickup, you get this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and like that. Then the next part in the next bar starts on the and of 1, and what you play there is this. So what do you do there? So you have ring finger, E3, middle finger, A2, then open D, and then you play that, try it here again. So that's with ring finger on D3 and middle finger on G2. You play it twice, then your middle finger to D2 and with open G, and then you play open D, right? So like this. But of course, it starts on the and of 1. So if I would count that in, that would go like this. 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... All right, so then in the next bar, we get this part. So what do you do there? So it's very close to what we played in bar 1. Well, not counting the pickup, of course. So what do you do there? So you play ring finger on A3, then middle finger on D2 with open G, then open D and G, then you have ring finger on D3 and middle finger on G2, then index finger is added on B1 and you play G and B together. And then either with an up or a down stroke, you play open G and B, and then you play a G chord, and you make it short, right? So, and that concludes the intro riff. So let's play this slowly. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. All right? So what is good to know is that a lot of parts of that first riff will return later in the tune, because that's all this tune is basically. It's just playing a C chord to the F chord to the G chord, start to finish. Like, trust me, that's it. That's all there is. So now let's move on to the verse. Here we go. So how do you play that verse? Let's look at the first bar here, and you play the following thing. So what do you do? So you start with a simple C chord, right? And you play A string first, then you play D, G, and B together. Then you play open G and D. So it's basically where you start switching to your F chord. And then you place just a small F triad, so that's index finger on B1, middle finger on G2, and ring finger on D3. And there you play D and G, and then you play G and B, followed by open B there, right? Open B and G. So like this. Right? Then in the next bar, you sort of strum that G chord. So what I do, I sort of play a lazy G there. And it's kind of, I mean, I've listened to even stem tracks from this, from that recording. And I believe they just have like a very simple G version there. So you can either get that full G there, but what I do is I play a lazy G. So I have my ring finger and third of E. It mutes the A string, so I have the the low E string, and then D, G, and B, right? So in that second bar of the verse, you get this, and that starts on the and of one, so you get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's it. So like up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Together with that first bar, that's repeated. So that goes like this: 3, 4. Right? So that's the biggest part of that first verse. Now, there are some sort of minor variations in there. So sometimes instead of just playing D and G and G and B on that F chord, sometimes it's played as just playing that full triad and then playing the top 3 strings of your guitar. So basically making a small bar there with your index finger and first of B and E, right? So that sounds like this. Right? So you have options there. Yeah, I would just sort of make your own variations there. Anyways, so this thing you play 6 times, and then the 7th time you get this. Right? So that's an ongoing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So there also you play a C chord. So first you strum more the bass strings. Then you get up, down, right, on D, G, and B, up, down, then upstroke on open G and D, and then you switch to the F chord, and you get down, up, down, and then upstroke on the open G and D again, and then you strum your G chord again, right? So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and that's it. The second verse, when we look at that, is pretty much the same, but it's shorter, right? So you only play it 3 times. It starts with Yo no soy marinero. And after those 3 repeats, we go into the chorus. And the chorus is similar, but with a twist. So here we go. So you play... right? So what you do there is you play that verse start, basically. So you play that C chord, you play A, then D and G, and then you play open D, Then you go to the F chord, playing the D and G string there. Then playing G and B, like this. And then you play open G and B or D, G and B. And then we get that riff from the intro. Right? And then you repeat that. So it goes like this, 3, 4. Right? And then the fourth time, you have sort of the same ending as what you have at the end of the verse, right? So you play C chord, you play down circle on the bass, and then you play D, G, and B, open G and B, and then you switch to the F chord, and you play D and G, and then you play G and B twice, open G and B, sorry, G and D, and then that G chord. So and that's the chorus. After that chorus, you get another verse. That verse is played 4 times, and then you get into the guitar solo, and that goes like this. So how do you play that solo? Well, the opening is pretty simple. You're just playing sort of tremolo picking on the open G string, right? There's our 16th notes, but what I would advise is to really feel the beat in them. So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little bit easier to track the beat that way and not to make any mistakes, and you're probably more accurate in your timing as well. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Right? So in the fourth bar, you end on the second beat. Then the next part starts, but before I get into that, what I want to do is just show you the scale on which it's based, because once you know the scale, then sort of everything falls into place almost on its own. So that is this one. So you could start with open E, then you got first position, third position, then you got open A, then you got second and third, open D, second and third, open G, second, open B, first and third, and open E, and then first and third. My recommendation would be to just learn that pattern and just play it up and down a couple of times, because it makes what you're about to learn 10 times easier. Just press pause, work on it, and yeah. And what's good to know is that your index finger will be playing everything in that first position, middle finger everything in second, and ring finger everything in third position. However, the pickup of this thing, so I guess the first bar and a half, we're moving out of position, but it moves back into position, and from there, that whole talk about that scale sort of starts. All right. So after having tremolo picked that open G string, this is what you play. All right? So you play open G, then you play second to fourth. I do this all with my index finger, and then I play that fourth once more, make a hammer with my middle finger in fifth. So like this. Then I play index finger fourth again. And then second of G, also with my index finger. Then I play ring finger fourth on that G to index finger second, and then open G. All right? Now, what's good to know is that I'm playing all downstrokes, right? And I believe that in this tune, the guitar player plays most stuff with downstrokes. Sometimes I see him doing down and up strokes, but there is a lot of downstrokes going on in there. And I guess with this eighth note pattern that we're playing, although in that little bit there was a 16th note in there, but with that eighth note pattern that we're going to be playing, using just downstrokes is a good idea. So after having played that, you get this part. So that is index finger, G2, open G, and then you got middle finger, D3, and then open G again. Then you got D2 to D3, and then open G, then index finger, D again in second, right? So like this. Then we get this part. Now, this is what we call sort of like a sequence, right? So we're moving down the scale in thirds. So what does that mean? That means I'm playing third position here on my D string. Then I'm playing the note that is sort of 3 steps down. So it's this 1, 2, 3. So that one. Then I go back up 1 note, but then down 3 to that one. So I got, right? Then I'm playing back up 1 note, so that's open D string in this case, and then down a third, up 1, and then down a third, right? So 3, open, 2 on the D string, then A3, D open, A2, A3, A open, right? All right, that continues into the next part, and that goes like this. All right, so that is A2 with your index finger, E3 with your middle finger, open A, and then index finger E1, and then ring finger E3. All right? So from that start, that pickup, and then on the next string, we get open A, then A2 with your middle finger, and A3 with your ring finger. Right? And here, basically, you're walking up the scale. So you get, then, all right? So all the way till there, right? But we'll still do it in steps. So first, after having played this part, you go to open D, D2, D3, open G, G2, open B, B1, B3, open E, E1, and now we're gonna go back into some repeats, right? So we got that E1, then B3 with your ring finger, then E, E1, back to B3, E, E1, and then tremolo picking third position of that E string, right? It's like this. Let's start on the D string. So D2, 3, G2, B1, 3, and then All right. So that tremolo picking on the third position of that E string, that's for 4 beats in bar 27. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we got 2 beats in the next bar, 1, 2. And then you play that once more. You slide up to 12 and you slide back down, right? So. And then we get this part. All right, so that's a lot to take in. So let's do that step by step. So you start with playing ring finger in 5th of your E string. Then you play index finger 3rd of that E, hammer on to 5th, and then pull off. So then move your index finger to 1st, play it, hammer on 3rd, pull off to open, right? So then you got this part. So that is 1st on E, B3, then E open, and then B1, right? So we get in the next bar, in bar 30, we get this. So that is B3, open E, and then we got B1, B3, and then we get this, playing open B, hammer on M1, pull off, and then landing with middle finger and 2nd of G, right? So like this. Then playing B open and G open. Sorry, like that. So like this. All right. The next bar, we got this. So we got middle finger, 2nd position of G. We play it, pull off to open G, then ring finger on D3, open G, D2, D3, then open G, D2, and D3, right? Then we got this. So what do you do there? So you have open D with a hammer on and pull off in 2nd with middle finger. So ring finger on A3. Then we play G, then D2, D3, and then open G. So like this. All right. And I know there's still a 4th beat, but I'm going to hold on to that for a sec. So after that tremolo picking, we get starting on that ring finger in 5th. All right. Then we get another tremolo picked part, but now there is notes sort of moving in there, so it's sort of melody notes. And I'll play it slowly, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 3. So what do? Well, on beat 4 of bar 32, you play this. So you play, 2nd position with your index finger. And then you just let go and play open G 3 times. Up, down, up. So I got down, up, down, up. Then you go to 5th position. You do the same thing. Down, up, up. Then ring finger 7th. Down, up, up. Then we go to 4th. Down, up, up. Then 7th again. Down, up, up. 5th. Down, up. Then 9th, down, up. Back to 7th, down, up. And then we get this. So that is 9, then open G, 10, open G, and then 12, tremolo picked. like that. So let's do that slowly. 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 7, 4, 7, 5, 9, 7, 9, 10, and 12. All right. Now, what's good to know is that if you're going to be doing this on your own, which I guess most of you are, then at the end of that tremolo picked 12th position, you'll have to let go at some point to sort of make that that pickup, going into the interlude, which is of course also important to get that. And that interlude is pretty much the same thing as what we've played in the intro. So that goes like this. Right? Then you go into your last verses. Right? Eventually that goes into your last choruses. And let's see, that last chorus section is played 4 times and then you end on a C chord, right? So you get... So after that last chorus, we land on the C chord, but at the same time, there is another sequence being started by something like a ukulele or a cuatro or something like that. And I'll show you how that first part of that riff is done. There's all kinds of variations that he's playing, like sort of like a mini solo on that thing. I'm not going to get into all of that, just the start of that riff. That goes like this. So you play basically your C triad first, so that's index finger flat on D, G, and B in 5th. Then it goes to F, right? So that's middle finger on B6, index finger on G5, and ring finger on D7. Then you move that whole thing up to G, so that's a whole step up. So middle finger is now on B8, index finger on G7, and ring finger on D9. And we also have to add our pinky there eventually on A10. The picking goes like this. So you start either with a down or an upstroke. Doesn't matter much. I start this one with an upstroke personally. So that's up, down, down, down. That's on the C one. Then you make the F one, and that's up, down, down, down. Then you move it up a whole step on the G, and then you play an up, and then you add your pinky on 10th of A, and you play down, 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 all the way to that middle finger. And then on the G string, you play pinky on 10 of G, up to 9 ring finger, down, and then up, index finger, and 7. It's like this. So we got up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, like that, right? There's some variations you could make when it comes to what kind of picking pattern you use. I'm using a lot of economy picking and sweeps and such. So that makes more sense to me. I'll be honest, I can't play it fast yet, right? So I haven't practiced that at all, but I'm just giving you the information so you can do with that what you want. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. Wish you a great week or weekend, and I'll see you again sometime. Bye.